Okay, everyone. If you're watching this, this is the first live stream of the Rock and Noel channel. I'm excited to be here, man. I'm going to talk about things that are, yes, Florida State driven. That's the main thing. But I like to venture off into other things as well, such as pro wrestling, music, stuff going on in the world. No politics. That's my rule, though. We're not here for that. We're here just to have a good time. So let's get to Florida State, okay? Because I want to get to it. I'm excited to just add my 2 cents to things. If anyone ever wants to give me a comment and give me a rebuttal or their opinion on something, please, I welcome that. So bring it on. Okay, so we're over a month since Mike Norvell decided to stay. And people have been quiet about that. I guess you move on with your life. You got other things going on. You were happy that day that he didn't go to Alabama. I can't begin to tell you how much that helped Florida State. Because let's be honest, there's no guarantees finding a good coach. You might think you have the right guy. He may not work out. Look at Florida. Look at a lot of other schools. He has the program going in the right direction. Now, yes, if he had left, we had a good roster in place. But guess what? They can all go in the transfer portal tomorrow. We could have lost those guys. And what was their loyalty to Florida State? A lot of them had only been on campus a few weeks. So they would have looked to go elsewhere. Our roster would have been depleted. We're in a lawsuit with the ACC, which, God willing, that's going in the right direction because I got some opinions on that as well. Mike Norvell stayed with us at the time we needed him the most. Now, does that mean we don't have higher expectations now after 13-0 and you've been raised to $10 million a year plus? Absolutely. He understands that, but he welcomes those challenges. And I heard him speak a year ago in Miami and in Fort Lauderdale. And his number one thing was getting things done, but doing it the right way. And he's done nothing but that in his entire time. So, Mike, thank you for staying. We got your back, buddy. Now, spring football preview. What has Coach Norvell done? He's attacked the transfer portal, as well as signing a really good recruiting class as well out of the high school ranks. What I'm excited about this spring is to hear how the offensive line is doing. Now, people will say, oh, you did okay last year. I get it. We were depleted. We got through it, but we didn't have the beefy interior guards to help with the run game. And what is Mike Norvell's calling card? The running game, especially the counter play. So a lot of his offense was out of the equation. He has made that a much better area. So I'm excited about that. Now, here's what I want to hear. How about the receiving core? I understand we had Keon Coleman last year, Johnny Wilson, but Keon was hurt for a lot of the year. So was Johnny. So we really didn't have a true deep threat. Plus, I think Jordan was banged up a lot more than he led on to believe. I think after that Boston College game, he was a different quarterback. He took a nasty hit in that game that really affected his throwing because his deep balls the year before and the year before that were just a thing of beauty. And we tended to lose that. Plus, with Keon's injury, that was out of the cards as well. This year, with DJ, if he's healthy, he has a cannon for an arm, probably even stronger than Jordan's. Actually, I would say definitely stronger than Jordan's. But we're so much more diverse at the receiver position this year, which I'm excited about. Now, you have some staples from last year back, Ja'Kai Douglas, Hakeem Williams, Vandrevius Jacobs. But the guy I'm looking forward to the most, and maybe I'm a little biased because I went to the same high school as him, Jaylen Brown out of Gulliver Prep in Miami, Florida. I think he is that dynamic slot receiver that will keep opposing defensive coaches up at night. Because if you have all those guys covered, how are you going to cover this guy in the slot who runs a good 4.2, 4.3 on an average day? Good luck with that. Now, the running back position, people will say you lost Trey Benson. That's fine. I get it. One of our best running backs, I'd say, of all time. Trey was that good. In the big games, when you needed a big play and a big run, Trey Benson delivered. Look at his stats against Miami and Florida. To me, that's what you're judged on as a Seminole. Now, people don't talk about that as much. In the 90s, that's what you were judged on. Yeah, you had a good game against NC State. Great. North Carolina. Great. How did you play in those rivalry games? That's what people remembered you for. Look at my friend Snoop Minnis. Hope to have him on this show one time. Against Florida, he made their life a nightmare. And he will tell you how proud he is of those moments. Plus everything else he did. But you have that taken care of, which I'm excited about. Now, you have other receivers as well. But as I was saying, the running backs, I'm sorry. So, running backs. Now, listen, if you're watching at all, please drop a comment. I would love to hear feedback. It just makes everything better. I welcome it. And if you're from a rival school, my attitude is show some class. I'll give you some class. Now, as far as the running backs go, like I was saying, Trey Benson, sorry to get sidetracked there. Trey Benson, not on the roster anymore. You still got Lawrence Toafili. I think he proved last year he's more than a gadget back. He can get the tough yards when he needs it. But you added who I'm really excited about, Roydell Williams. He was at Bama. He was, as I heard a Bama reporter say, he was not supposed to be at least second string. He got the second string. He is that guy, the bruiser you don't want to see in the third and fourth quarter. When you're tired, the defense, and if this guy has not been used a lot in the game, oh my God, I would almost feel sorry for the defense. I probably won't, but I almost would. He is a guy to watch out for this year. All those Bama guys are, but that's a guy to watch out for. Now, the defense, yeah, you have to really keep a close eye on that because you lost not just your stars from last year, which you did. You lost your main leaders, the guys when the games were tight, especially in the first half when we really did not always get off to the best starts. I can think of a few games, Duke, some of the other games. The leaders that by the second half had everything figured out and took games over because they just were so experienced. The Jared Verses and your main heart and soul of the defense, in my opinion, Kalen DeLoach. You're losing him. You're losing Verse, obviously. You're losing Fabian Lovett. You're losing Akeem Dent in the back end. But I still think you're really deep. You added some great defensive ends in the portal and some guys who are really going to be just tough to deal with. We got a defensive end from Oregon State who I think can also, in passing situations, move on the inside. We got a defensive end from West Virginia. Bear with me for not saying his name. I should have it here. It's not the easiest to pronounce, but I'm really impressed by that kid. And I know Coach JP is going to coach them up really well. Defensive tackle is going to be an interesting position to watch. We're fortunate to return Josh Farmer and Daryl Jackson. I'm curious about the Grady Kelly kid from Colorado State. I think he can add a lot to the defense. He's going to take some time, though. I don't expect week 1 or week 2 him to be a big contributor. But I think with spring ball, camp, in the first couple of games, I think Odell will have him ready to go. Plus, there's going to be some other kids. And everyone's so sold on the roster now, and that's great. But we didn't have Keon Coleman last year until May. So there could be some guys open up in the portal that maybe we weren't even thinking of going to add that to that position. You might just have no choice like we did with Coleman last year. So that's it. I'm going to preview the defense more next time. And I just wanted to get into a quick WrestleMania talk. If they got any wrestling fans here, trust me, I welcome comments from anything, music, wrestling. That's my thing. And I got some ideas for some vlogs I'm going to do. Just get out, show people Tallahassee, show people just a Florida State experience and a pro wrestling experience and a night at a concert, just to diversify, as I like to say. And if I've rambled on a little bit, I apologize. This is my first time, but I'm really enjoying this. Now, here's something else. WrestleMania. They're doing it right, WWE. And you'll have to understand, I'm an AEW fan. They have not been on their A game lately. I do think they're going to have a great pay-per-view this weekend, Revolution, without a doubt. But the road to WrestleMania is here. That's the show that we all look forward to every year. This year, I'm fortunate enough to go there. It's in Philadelphia. 2 of my really close friends live there, and they told me, no excuses, you have to come. So I'm going to be such a good friend. I'm going to come there and go to it, which I'm really excited about. Now, they're doing a great job promoting it, and I'm noticing it is much different this year without Vince McMahon. And we're not going to get into the Vince saga. That's not for here. You can look elsewhere for that. But what I'm saying is, with this new group running the company, you can tell this is a sports theme. I thoroughly enjoyed the press conference in Las Vegas. I didn't expect to. I expected to see just a table, take some questions from reporters. No, they did a great job having them face to face, building up. I couldn't wait to watch SmackDown the night after. Not like me all the time to say that. So, as I was saying, they're doing a great job. Was I disappointed that it was going to be original? We thought The Rock versus Roman? Yes. Not because I didn't think it would be a good match, not that I didn't think it wouldn't draw interest. It would. But deep down, you've been selling us on a story of Cody Rhodes for 2 years. You had him win the Royal Rumble. What's the most logical thing? Him to avenge his loss from last year. Last year, and the more I thought about it, it made sense that he did not go over. This year is his time. Now, this is the question that I would ask to any wrestling fan. Is his time at WrestleMania this year? Is it time to complete the story there? Just because he has a story to finish does not mean it has to be at WrestleMania. I get it. It's the biggest stage possible. We're going to have 70, 80,000 people there. I get it. And I get from a money standpoint, that's the biggest. Media, everything. It doesn't have to be there. I don't think you're going to have another title run like Roman Reigns. I just don't. So that being said, how much longer do you draw that out? Do you have Roman at least beat Hogan's streak, which is coming up? And then say to yourself, okay, it's time. Now, Roman's taking more and more time off. So I think at some point he would be willing to drop the title. Not that he makes every decision there, but that he's just not going to be available. And I know a lot of people would say to me, how often do we see him now? But he's there when we need him for the big shows. He might not be able to do that like The Rock in the past when he just could not be there because his movie schedule got crazier. Roman has that potential as well. I really do. And who knows how much he just wants to take a break from wrestling. He's made a lot of money. He's become a megastar. He doesn't need to be there that often. I do think Cody is the guy that you can rely on to carry the company. I don't want to say carry the company because there's so much talent there. But who do you want to be the champion, not just after WrestleMania, but more importantly, when you move into Netflix in January? That is the main guy who's doing the media, who is the face of the company, no matter how much talent is there, when you go to Netflix. I would say Roman, but I would also say Cody makes sense too. I can't really think of anybody that I would say have them be the main champion. I know you have two champions. Seth Rollins is the other champ, but who is the main face of the company? I think they would ask Roman to be around for that. And then you got the Rumble right after that, and that would be a good time for Roman to drop the belt. Now, Bully Ray has several times said, if you don't do it at Mania, it makes even more sense to do it in Madison Square Garden. I could not agree anymore. WWE's gotten away from the Garden a little bit. They go to Barclays Center. I get it. They probably got a better deal there. It's still in New York. It's still a hotbed. But that's what Cody has talked about, where his dad got screwed out of the title. Had it for 3 seconds and taken away. I could see that. It would make sense. But it's not the business standpoint. And I think this new group is a business-oriented sports group. So they're going to make the best decision. I'm just glad it's Cody and Roman. I wasn't sold on The Rock. I still not. I know he drives numbers. He sells tickets. But is he only doing this because he's part of TKO now? When he had other opportunities to do WrestleMania before this and face Roman, he could have done it last year. He claims it was because he wasn't in shape. But seriously, let me ask anyone, when has he not been in shape? So I don't buy that. And he turned it down in Hollywood last year, and he's a Hollywood megastar. So that being said, those are some things I'm watching. AEW has a big pay-per-view this weekend, and let's just take a minute to, I don't want to say acknowledge because people are going to think I'm making a Roman comment, but just appreciate the career of Sting. Now, I do think he's still going to be around in some ways. I think AEW is going to keep him as an ambassador or something like that. He's just so good with media. He's so good just in general with people. He's as nice a person as you'll ever meet, and no one has a bad word to ever say about Sting. But at 60-something years old, he's wrestling his last match this weekend. I think that's awesome. And I'm sure the Young Bucks appreciate saying that we were opposite Sting. And I'm sure Darby's going to look for a second and be like, wow, for the last almost 4 years, I got to be side by side with that guy. Sting is an icon, a legend. I put him up there with the Hogans and the Savages and the Takers and all those guys. Sting is right up there in that Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. Now, people always say Mount Rushmore. How many do you put on a list? Good question. 5, I don't know if I put Sting. 10, yes, definitely. But this is my first stream. Hope you liked it. If you get a chance to check it out, I'm looking to make it better. I'm looking to invite some guests. I got some friends in the Florida State world that I think would do a great job on this for an interview. The wrestling world, I'm looking to add some interviews as well, and that way to make it more. And I want it interactive where people are writing, and I am really going out of my way to mention those comments because I think that's so important. So also music world as well. I want to get some guitarists and some singers and people talking about an upcoming tour or just stuff from their past. That's where it is. I want this channel to be when you're sitting watching, hearing me talk, or you're hearing an interview, that you're basically in a barbershop or the sports bar and you're just sitting hanging out with us. That's the number one thing. You're not just watching us, you're being a part of it. That's my number one thing. Thank you if you get a chance to watch this. I appreciate it. Take care. Have a great day.